Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand.
Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio, Wednesday edition. Today is the 14th of May, 2014. We have a full moon today. Our moon is in Scorpio. Our sun sign is in Taurus. Scorpio we know is a water sign. Taurus we know is an earth sign, just like when we arrived yesterday. We have some aspects to look at. We have an aspect that took place between Jupiter and the moon earlier this morning, followed by shortly after noon we have a square. And the square that's going on is between Venus and Pluto. Pluto's transformative energies. So Venus, our imagination, is going to go through that transformation. Maybe some new ideas and creative thoughts come to mind as we look forward to what today is about. And then later in this afternoon we have an opposition. The sun and the moon are opposite of each other. And when things are opposite each other, they're balancing themselves out. And sometimes they are dealing with the two elements in ways that are, well, it's a nice good balancing act, let's just say that. You got two opposites balancing themselves out, so what their meanings are about, you look to understand. In this case, we have the sun, which is Taurus, and we have the moon, which is Scorpio, so we have death, and we have the Hierophant. If we look at the two tarot cards, let me show you these. These are the two cards right here, Taurus and Scorpio. And so one is the spiritual teacher, one is learning about the difference of life and death. These are the two opposing forces today. If we go over and we look, today's a special moon. Today's called the Wesak. It says when the moon is in full in the constellation of Scorpio and the sun is in Taurus, usually the full moon in May, a worldwide event takes place that often sometimes referred to as Wesak, known as Vesak, Sanskrit, or Vashakha, Pali Veskasha. In the East, this date also marks the celebration of Gautama Buddha's birth, attainment of his Buddhahood, and his departure from his outer physical body. He was born Siddhartha Gautama in northern India at Kaplavuthu on the border of northern Nepal in the period between 623 BC and 563 BC on the day of the full moon in May. He was the son of the king and the queen in the Sakya kingdom, receiving an education befitting a royal son. Prince Siddhartha married and had a son. He led a luxurious life at home and was blissfully unaware of the sufferings and sorrows of the outside life outside the palace gates. In his 29th year, realizing the fleeting nature of physical life and the vanity of material pleasures, he resolved to leave his palace in search of truth and peace. It was on the night of the full moon in May that Siddhartha sat on the grass under the famous fig tree, the Bodhi tree, at Bodh Gaya. He entered into a very deep meditation, during which veil after veil was lifted that covered the face of truth. Finally, he beheld the fullness of that blessed truth, which completely transfigured him. He obtained perfect enlightenment in his 35th year, gaining the attainment of Buddha or otherwise known as the Awakened One. He was thereafter known as Gautama Buddha. Having successfully completed his noble mission on his 18th year, he retired to Kusinara, a small hamlet, and lying on the couch between cedar trees, passed out on the physical limitations and ascended into a peaceful state of mind on Wesak full moon day more than 2,500 years ago. In some parts of Asia, the Wesak Festival has been regarded as a public holiday for centuries. It is a day of reunion, of pilgrimage, and of joyful expectancy. Devotees believe the most important things to practice are the good virtues of kindness and generosity to all living things. There are stands by the sides of the road from which free foods and drinks are given to people walking by. The streets are filled with entertainers, pageants, and happiness. The celebration begins at dawn when devotees gather at the temples to meditate on the 8 precepts. Common traditions include the giving of the donations and the food to the needy, as well as the offerings of incense and prayers in the homes and the temples. The sutras are chanted in unison by monks in saffron robes. The celebration is highlighted by a candlelight procession in Sri Lanka. Buddhists dressed in white and carry baskets of flowers to the local monasteries. Buddhists all over the world decorate monasteries with Buddhist flags, lanterns, and flowers. Some people donate blood to hospitals while others hand out free spiritual books. It is considered a very holy day. However, only a handful of spiritually minded recognize the inner significance of the day. The dates of Christian holy days are established by past events or by happenings which occurred centuries ago. The Wesak Festival is in recognition of a present living event. The heavenly event takes place annually at the time of the full moon of Taurus, often called the May full moon, and at that time there is released upon the earth, according to the measure of man's demand, the blessing of God Himself, transmitted through Gautama Buddha and Lord Maitreya, the cosmic Christ. This happening has its physical, etheric counterparts. Paralleling the spiritual ceremony, an event of importance also takes place simultaneously in a little valley in Tibet on the further side of the Himalayas. It is there that the earthly ceremony of blessing takes place, and to that valley many people in and around the district find their way as pilgrims towards the light. There's a solemn rituals performed which can be definitely seen and heard as any ceremony can of our great cathedrals. Now the advent of the internet, Gautama's address to the world can be heard worldwide. You are invited to be present in Tucson, Arizona for the service at the Temple of the Presence. Okay? So this is one place where it's taking place, and that's the Wesak Festival. So there you go. That's what's going on with today. Our numerology is number 8. Let me show you. We show you how we arrived at 8. You should know by now how to get to there, right? 5 plus 14, 1 plus 4, plus 2014. That's 5 plus 5 plus 7. That's 17. 1 plus 7 equals 8. 8 is which card? Tarot card of Strength. Strength is all about right useness, the right useness or righteousness. That way we use our energy. And here the whole idea is taming the conscious mind with the subconscious mind, the white purity of the subconscious, the primal animal nature of the conscious mind, taming that nature, taming that so the two can work together. True strength comes when you're allowing your heart to be open and the energy to flow through it. The 8 here is about reciprocal energy, continuing on and on. It has some good sides to it. It's a fire sign. It's all about ideas. The negative sides of it, cruel, insensitive, violent. But on the positive side, it's using all of this positive energy to shine through our hearts. So love is what we're putting out into the world. Now we take a look and see where these are here. Here's Strength right here, 8. Here's our Taurus for today. Here's our Scorpio down here. So you can see all the places that we're walking, all the lessons we're learning. Humility, wisdom, our emotions, and then back to our heart, of course. The moon phase, as you know, is full, 100%. If we look up into the sky, tonight we are going to be seeing full moon. Takes place just after noon, 3:16. This is Pacific time or Eastern time, so noon, just 12:16 our time. Look for Saturn in its upper right. Once the moon is well up after dark, look for Antares and other stars of upper Scorpius below it. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. We're going to see the moon here. We're going to see Saturn just above it tonight. Okay. Mayan Oracle. New wave spell of the warrior. Warrior uses intelligence to be able to get out of situations and fix situations. Warrior doesn't want to fight. The warrior uses his mind to avoid the fights, but if necessary, the warrior knows how to take care of business. Warrior asks questions, though, uses the mind. So we have the warrior guided by the warrior. This is our lesson. That is our theme for the next 13 days. The phrase is, I unify in order to question, attracting fearlessness. I seal the output of intelligence with the magnetic tone of purpose. I am guided by my own power doubled. Space weather, the solar wind is currently at 349.2 kilometers per second. Planetary K-index is quiet. Our coronal holes are smoothed over at the moment. M-class flare possibilities down to 30, X-class 5, and geomagnetic storm activity looks like it's going to hang about the 30% range in the high latitudes and a little bit in the low latitudes as well. And over on the Jewish calendar, today is 14 Lyre. That's the name of today. Alright, so all those things get you started today. So Wesak Festival, celebrating the Buddha. That's what starts us off. I'll be back. UFO news is up. Let's get to it.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. Today we have a whole bunch of UFO news stories for you. As always, first one comes to us from Leon, GTO, Mexico. Interesting video footage of groups of UFOs flying in the night sky above Leon, a city in the state of Guadalajara. This was seen and recorded on May 5th. Okay, the video itself is 8 minutes and 16 seconds long. There's a whole grouping of them right there. Nice, good shot. 1, 2, 3. We got 4 of them, huh? All right. That's a real good shot over Mexico. From there, we're going to go to Stockton, California. This was one that you may have heard about here. This strange-looking object appeared in the sky. We got the news source links right here, so you can just check out, verify. It says unusual cloud spotted in Stockton caused a storm on social media Friday afternoon. Photos started flooding social media a little after 2 p.m. Many people characterized the event as a UFO using hashtags like #alien, #weird, and even going so far as saying the Earth was due for an extraterrestrial invasion. See all the folks looking up at them there. What's going on in the sky? They were wondering. Alright, good picture, good shots. What is that? Don't know. News crew gets more than they bargained for with UFO footage in New Zealand. Is that a supersonic UFO flying over the skies of New Zealand? Australian television crew got more than they expected when filming in Queenstown. Australian film crew allegedly captured a UFO sighting in New Zealand. Similarities between these sightings and the one in the Netherlands noted didn't notice the UFOs until editing the footage this past week. You can see they're right here. We're shooting the television program on location. An Australian film crew managed to record more than they initially expected on New Zealand's South Island. On April 8th, the Australian produced art show were filming their opening sequence in Queenstown, completely unaware of what was happening in the background. Which, of course, as you could see, were the 2 UFOs. And we're not going to watch a commercial. But while editing the episode over the past week, Color in Your Life presenter Graham Stevenson noticed something paranormally strange, what he believes to be 2 UFOs. Noting the similarities between what they came across in the video, Mr. Stevenson had seen a UFO filmed in the Netherlands. The presenter believed they were onto something. When the production team took a closer look, they were blown away. We were all like, "What was that?" Color in Your Life production manager Tanita Creed told Mail Online. After slowing down the footage, the questions turned into what they should do with the caught on the UFO sighting. It was the speed they were moving for. They just jumped out of the trees. After slowing down the video and watching it frame by frame, the two shapes can be seen emerging from the trees, moving up into the sky and then disappearing. All this managed to take place before a motorcyclist, also in the shot's background, rode across the bridge they were filming near. Certain that what they captured was a UFO, the team decided to post a video online and see what everyone thought. From the trees to where I was on the bike was about half a kilometer. If you look at the speed in real time, it means that if it were a bird, they would have accelerated to about 4,000 kilometers an hour in a second. Remember, the production team posted. Okay. And then here we have the objects in the video. And right here. In this area right here. Okay. Right in there. So obviously when you enlarge the screen, it's much better. They fly by really quick. And I'm going to leave that on for you. Okay, here we go to, it says people keep spotting UFOs in NASA's live HD ISS live stream. Recently, NASA attached a bunch of high definition cameras to the outside of the International Space Station. The main result for those of us on the sidelines of space research and commerce has been a few days of utterly beautiful images of Earth. Inevitably, it has also been something of a treasure trove for UFO hunters. A brief search on YouTube and conspiracy theory sites reveals a bunch of different sightings of unidentified objects, some mere flashes in space, others quite hilariously huge, which they claim are aliens above the Earth. Okay. And if you keep checking out, you'll see these videos online popping up. I keep posting them when I find them. Definitely getting a lot of stuff up there. Street Cap 1 is doing a great job of capturing all that stuff. So good job, Street Cap 1. Keep it up. Alright, here we go over to UFO, or the Examiner, Roger Marsh. Two Indiana witnesses in Noblesville reported watching and videotaping an orb-shaped UFO that was following them along Cherry Tree Road, beginning about 12:50 a.m. on May 7th. The two had just left the movie theater and were driving when the object was first noticed. It appeared to move towards them at an incredible speed. As they kept driving, we noticed that the orb was actually following us, so we stopped in the middle of the road to check it out, the witness stated. The orb was moving across the sky. When I stopped my vehicle, the orb also stopped and hovered in place. Then I hit the gas a little bit, and when I did, the UFO began to move. And then I came to a stop again, and so did the orb of light. Me and my girlfriend were both freaking out at this point because we knew there was no way for an airplane to just stop in place and hover, and this thing was following us. The witness said the object frightened them, and they decided to turn around and head home. The craft also had no sound. So anyway, my girlfriend was freaking out, begging me to take her home, and at this point I was a little freaked out, so I turned my car around, started heading home, and as soon as I did, I could see the object in my side mirror. It suddenly turned into three balls of light, all side by side, and they flew up on us again. When I turned around, the craft stopped coming towards us and hovered in place, and was now again the ball of light. I drove towards it and began to move away from us. I stopped in the road, and the orb also stopped. I told my girlfriend it is following us. Watch when I stop, it will stop. I stopped the vehicle, and the orb also stopped and hovered there, I said. Now when I hit the gas, it is also going to accelerate. So I hit the gas hard and got to about 30 miles per hour. The orb immediately matched our speed as soon as I hit the gas. I said, watch, it's going to stop when we do. I slammed on the brakes hard and came to a dead stop. So did the orb. She was scared, and I didn't want anything to happen, so I drove us home. The object followed us the whole way and seemed to disappear once we got in my driveway. During the event, the reporting witness said he captured a video on his iPhone. Even though the object was pretty close, my camera made it look as if it was miles away. Alright, and then we have a link here. you want to go check out what that video might be. That's a link to the site here. Alright. So very interesting. Very interesting sighting indeed. Being followed. Or maybe just playing a game. Playing a little game of hide and seek. Okay, are the Hessdalen lights extraterrestrial, or can they be explained? As the name Hessdalen may be more familiar to UFO watchers than scientists, the valley in Norway is prone to strange hovering, flashing balls of light, best attributed to some believers to alien origins. Now, scientists say they're on the verge of an explanation. The valley is a giant natural battery. But at first, let's set the scene, as Carolyn Williams does wonderfully in her piece about the Hessdalen phenomena for New Scientists. On a cold, dark Norwegian night about a dozen times a year, you might see this. Sometimes the lights are as big as cars and can float around for up to 2 hours. Other times they zip down the valley before suddenly fading away. Then there are the blue and the white flashes that come and go in the blink of an eye, and daytime sightings that look like metallic objects in the sky. The Hessdalen phenomena has been around for at least a century, but it reached a peak in the 1980s when the lights suddenly started appearing 10 to 20 times a week. UFO enthusiasts took this as a sign that the valley was a portal to other worlds. Google Hessdalen today and you'll still find plenty of UFO conspiracy sites. But the strange burst of lights in the 80s attracted physicists too. Interest piqued the idea of some unexplained natural phenomena. In the decades since, they have determined that the glow likely comes from air turned into plasma. This unique geology of valley could be responsible for this plasma. The valley is not formed by rocks. The valley is formed by rocks on one side in copper. So one side rich in copper, the other rich in iron and zinc, not unlike other cathode and anode of a battery. Sulfuric acid, leached from the abandoned sulfur mine at the bottom of the valley, could turn the river into the weak acid of an electrolyte. But where does the charge to energize the plasma come from? It may be extraterrestrials after all. The Hessdalen phenomena seems especially common after display of northern lights. So, got this strange phenomenon going on out here. Not sure what it is. Check out the video. Check out the link. See what you think. Is this just a natural phenomena, or is this something real going on? All right, let's talk about Captain Kirk here. William Shatner was a guest on Larry King on April 23rd. In the episode, the 83-year-old actor, author, musician, and comedian speaks with King about a variety of topics, including the cinematic showing of his one-man show, technology, the environment, the wine, and among other things. The two also discussed a book about UFOs and alien abduction on which Shatner is currently working. In the episode, the 83-year-old actor speaks with King about a variety of topics. Alright, here we go. It says, Shatner continues, his conclusion was UFOs are on another plane, another reality. They may not be the meteors we have. They may not be the meteors we see that we think are UFOs. In microphysics, sometimes the act of observing brings about the event. So there may be a photon of light that doesn't exist but suddenly comes into existence while you're examining. It goes off in another direction and ceases to exist. The principle being that there is such a mystery of what we, puny humans, have no knowledge of. Shatner has a fondness for exploring mysteries and the unknown, and his book will seemingly explore the mystery of the alien abduction specifically. After listening to Shatner's commentary on alien abduction, King asks him if he believes that the UFOs exist. Rather than offering a simple answer, Shatner comments, are they a product of us? There's a mystery here. When a mind like Johnny Mac can say this happened, there's too much community in these people who say they've been abducted. There's too much emotional baggage. Something is happening. What is it? That's the question. So do UFOs exist? It depends on what you mean, exist. As Time magazine points out, Shatner has been vocal about his extraterrestrial beliefs. In 2010 Montreal Gazette interview, he states, there is no doubt that there is life out there. The mathematics of it lead you to absolute conclusion. In my mind, there is no doubt that this universe teems with life in all of its forms. Shatner hosted a show that premiered in 2010 titled William Shatner's Weird or What?, in which his fascination with exploring the inexplicable, including alien encounters, was showcased. The show debuted on History in Canada and made its way to Discovery and Sci-Fi in the United States. Shatner did not mention the name of his upcoming book about alien abductions or announce a project release date on Larry King now, but he is active on Twitter, so any announcements regarding the book will most likely be made there first. And one last piece here. This is about Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar, the one secret airbase in the Nevada desert, is making an unofficial anniversary Tuesday. Area 51 was one of the most secretive places on the planet, known primarily to the top secret employees who worked there, or by those few who lived in the vicinity. But that anonymity vanished forever because of what happened 25 years ago, when a controversial electronics whiz told a fantastic tale during a television interview. The interview with I-Team reporter George Knapp became an international sensation. Knapp had been preparing for the 5 p.m. news on May 13th, 1989, when the scheduled interview canceled. Knapp placed a call to aviator John Lear to see if someone else could fill the spot. Lear had hinted to Knapp that he knew someone who worked out near Area 51, and the guy claimed to have been tinkering with flying saucers from another planet. The first interview with Bob Lazar sounded outrageous, and it ended up exposing details about the government's secret base called Area 51. Lazar was initially reluctant to talk, but he did. Sometimes I really regret it, and I almost feel like apologizing to them, saying, "I'm sorry, can I have my job back?" 25 years after he was forever transformed into Bob, the UFO guy, Lazar says he regrets ever talking about flying saucers or a secret base in the Nevada desert, or any of the things that has made his name known all around the world. There isn't a day I don't get emails, and I try to get more across to them. I don't even want to talk about this anymore, he said. People will tell you they don't believe his story, but Lazar doesn't care. Great, pass it around, you know. I really don't want you to, because it makes life difficult for me. A quarter century ago, not many people outside of Nevada had ever heard of Area 51. The mysterious base 100 miles north of Las Vegas, a place the government said doesn't exist. It was the location of choice of all manner of black projects, spy planes that were kept secret from the public. Former CIA pilot John Lear remembers the day Area 51 became a household name. He shot home video of an interview where a nervous Lazar talked with Knapp about Area 51. Yeah, he's nervous because he's putting it all on the line there. He's going to reveal secrets he signed he would never tell anyone, Lear said. In the interview, Lazar's face was hidden as he used the pseudonym Dennis, which was the first name of his boss out in the desert. He claimed he worked intermittently at a location called S4 south of Groom Lake, the main facility of Area 51. He said the hangars had been built on the side of a mountain, disguised as desert, and inside were 9 flying saucers. Months later, he revealed his identity to the world and said the technology he had worked on was from somewhere else, and it was being taken apart to figure out how it worked. The information exploded like a bomb, and in a quarter century since then, the world has beaten a path to Area 51's door. Every major news organization in the world has written stories. The base has inspired documentaries, television dramas, and has made it to several blockbuster movies. Dozens of books have been written, fiction and nonfiction. Hundreds of news articles, many of them critical of Lazar and skeptical about his background, have been printed. His tale launched 1,000 product lines with every trinket you can imagine, along with assorted businesses such as AAA baseball team and the world's only extraterrestrial highway running right past the entrance to Groom Lake. President Obama recently made a point of publicly acknowledging Area 51 base, and former President Bill Clinton told Jimmy Kimmel he had looked into the stories about the space aliens. Even the Kardashians have made a trek out to the desert. Alright. And he goes on to say, I began to really get worried in that they had given me all this classified information. They're not calling me anymore. They won't take my phone calls. In the meantime, they are deciding what to do with me. Alright, so there you go. So that's update on Bob Lazar. There's a little bit more to the article. Go ahead and check it out. I'll be back we're going to continue on with the Epic of Babylon, the Babylonian Epic of Creation. We're going to finish that up today. So stay tuned and I'll be back.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. So before we conclude the Babylonian epic, I have one piece here thought you'd find equally as fascinating as I did. This has to do with our tears. You know how they say snowflakes have different, everyone's different? Well, apparently it's the same with our tears. One day Rosalind Fisher wondered if her tears of grief would look different compared to her tears of joy. So she began to explore them up close under a microscope. She studied 100 different tears and found that basal tears, the ones that our bodies produce to lubricate our eyes, are drastically different from the tears that happen when we are chopping onions. The tears that come from hard laughter aren't even close to tears of sorrow. Like a drop of water, each tiny teardrop carries a microcosm of human experience. Her project is called the Topography of Tears. And here's some examples. Tears from laughing until crying. Tears of change. I mean, it's pretty fascinating how they're all so different. Tears of grief. From onions. Joseph Stromberg of the Smithsonian's College of Arts and Sciences explained that there are three major types of tears: basal, reflex, and psychic, which are triggered by emotions. All tears contain organic substances, including oils, antibodies, and enzymes that are suspended in salt water. Different types of tears have different molecules. Emotion tears have proton-based hormones, including the neurotransmitter leucine enkephalin, which is a natural painkiller that is released when we are stressed. Plus, the tears under the microscope are crystallized salt and can lead to different shapes and forms. So even psychic tears with the same chemical composition can look very different. Fisher said there are so many variables. There's the chemistry, the viscosity, the setting, the evaporation rate, and the settings of the microscope. So, pretty fascinating. Pretty fascinating indeed. Alright, so I'm going to leave the tears to you to check out. And for the last 2 weeks, last 2 Wednesdays, I've been reading from the Babylonian Epic of Creation. We've gone through the first 6 tablets. You can see we've got 2 different translations here. I'm just going to do this one translation here is what I've been doing. It says the Babylonian Epic of Creation is written on 7 tablets, each between 115 and 170 lines long. It was supposedly written no later than the reign of Nebuchadnezzar in the 12th century, but there is little doubt that the story was written much earlier during the time of the Sumerians. Okay, and let's jump over to the 7th tablet. Continue on today with this, and then the epilogue. O Asari, Marduk, bestower of planting, founder of sowing, creator of grains and plants, who caused the green herb to spring up. O Asaru Alim, who is revered in the house of counsel, who aboundeth in counsel. The gods paid homage, fear took hold upon them. O Asara, Alim, Numa, Marduk, the mighty one, the light of the Father who begat him, who directeth the decree of Anu, Bel, and A. He was their patron, he ordained their. He whose provision is abundance goes forth. Tutu, Marduk is he who created them anew. Should their wants be pure, then they are satisfied. Should he make an incantation, then are the gods appeased. Should they attack him in anger, he withstandeth their onslaught. Let him therefore be exalted in the assembly of the gods. Let him. None among the gods can rival him. 15 Tutu, Marduk is Zu Koikina, the life of the host of the gods, who established for the gods the brightest heavens. He set them on their way and ordained their path. Never shall his deeds be forgotten among men. Tutu A Ziazug, thirdly they named, the bringer of the purification, the god of the favoring breeze, the lord of hearing and mercy, the creator of fullness and abundance, the founder of plenteousness, who increaseth all that is small. In sore distress we felt his favoring breeze. Let them say, let them pay reverence, let them bow in humility before him. Tutu Az Aga Azeng, may mankind fourthly magnify, the Lord of the pure incantation, the quickener of the dead, who had mercy upon the captive gods, who removed the yoke from upon the gods his enemies. For their forgiveness did he create mankind, the merciful one with whom it is to bestow life. May his deeds endure, may they never be forgotten. In the month of mankind, whom his hands have made, Tuta Muazag. Fifthly, his pure incantation may their mouth proclaim, who through his pure incantation hath destroyed all evil ones. Sagzu Marduk, who knoweth the hearts of the gods, who seeth through the innermost part. The evil doer he hath not caused to go forth with him. Founder of the assembly of the gods, who, their heart, subduer of the disobedient, director of the righteousness, who rebellion and Tutu A Z C thee, who put an end to anger, who Tutu A Sukur kindly, the destroyer of the foe, who put their plans to confusion, who destroyed all the wicked. Let them. And then we skip about 60 lines here. It says, and it continues on, he who he named the four quarters of the world, mankind he created, and upon him understanding, the mighty one, Agil, the creator of the earth, Zulu Mumu, the giver of counsel and of whatsoever, Mumu, the creator of Mulil, the heavens, who for Giskil let, who brought the gods to naught, the chief of all the lords, supreme is his might, Lugal Duma, the king of the band of the gods, the lord of the rulers, who is exalted in royal habitation, who among the gods is gloriously supreme, Adu Nuna, the counselor of A, who created the gods his fathers, unto the path of whose majesty no god can ever attain. In Du-Azag he made it known, pure is his dwelling, the of those who understanding is Lug-Aldul Azuga, supreme is his might, there in the midst of Tiamat of the battle, the star which shineth in the heavens. May he hold the beginning and the future, may he pay homage to him, saying, he who forced his way through the midst of Tiamat without resting, let his name be Nibiru, the Caesar of the midst. For the stars of the heaven he upheld the pass, he shepherded all the gods like sheep, he conquered Tiamat, he troubled and ended her life. In the future of mankind, when the days grow old, may this be heard without ceasing, may it hold sway forever, since he created the realm of heaven and fashioned the firm earth, the Lord of the world, the Father Bel hath called his name, the title which all the spirits of heaven hath proclaimed. Did A hear? And his spirit was rejoiced. And then he said, he whose name his fathers have made glorious, shall be even as I. His name shall be and binding of all his decrees shall he control. All my commands shall he make known. By the name of 50 did the great gods proclaim his 50 names. They made his path preeminent. And the epilogue. Let them, for example, the names of Marduk be held in remembrance, and let the first man proclaim them. Let the wise and the understanding consider them together. Let the father repeat them and teach them to his son. Let them be in the ears of the pastor and the shepherd. Let a man rejoice in Marduk, the Lord of the gods, that they may cause his land to be fruitful, and that he himself may have prosperity. His word standeth fast, and command is unaltered. The utterance of his mouth hath no God ever annulled. He gazed into his anger, he turned not his neck. When he is wroth, no God can withstand his indignation. Wide is his heart, broad is his compassion. The sinner and evildoer in his presence. They received instructions, they spake before him. Unto of Marduk may the gods, may they his name. They took, and that is the end of this creation there. And here we have another version here. So strictly speaking, the text is not a creation legend, though it does give variant from the principal incident of the history of the creation according to the Inu Elish. Here, the fight with the dragon did not precede the creation of the world, but took place after men had been created and the cities had been built. It goes on to say, the city sighed, men uttered lamentation, for the lamentation there was none to help, for their grief there was none to take them by the hand. Who was the dragon? Tiamat was the dragon. Bel in heaven hath formed 50 kapsu. Kapsu is the space that can be covered in 2 hours' travel. For example, 6 or 7 miles. In his length 1 kapsu is his height. 6 cubits is his mouth. 12 cubits his. 12 cubits is the circuit to his ears. For the space of 60 cubits he, a bird. In water 9 cubits deep he draggeth. He raiseth his tail on high. All the gods of heaven. In the heaven the gods bowed themselves down before the moon god. The border of the moon god's robe they hastily grasp. Who will go and slay the dragon and deliver the broad land from, and become king over? Go, Tishu, slay the dragon, and deliver the broad land from, and become king over. Thou hast sent me, O Lord, to the raging creatures of the river, but know not thee of the dragon. And the last, and opened his mouth and spake unto the God, stir up cloud and storm and tempest. The seal of thy life shalt thou set before thy face. Thou shalt grasp it, and thou shalt slay thy dragon. He stirred up the cloud and storm and tempest. He set the seal of his life before his face, and grasped it, and slew the dragon. For 3 years and 3 months, 1 day and 1 night, the blood of the dragon flowed. All right. As you could see, there's certainly some challenges in this document because not all of the information is there, but you have enough to kind of get you an understanding of what is going on with it. And basically, you've read the story over and over and over through Zecharia Sitchin's work, and that's really kind of the same story. I mean, that's what he was telling, the creation myth of Tiamat and the other planets and the extraterrestrial involvement. Obviously, the picture is much bigger than what humans are told down here, and it's kind of cool that we're aware of such stories and find out how that they are all make up the stories that we know and have told so many times. All right. Here we have an article called How to End the Matrix by Michelle Walling. The Matrix can be defined as the holographic experience of a third-dimensional reality we have chosen in order to learn lessons or have experiences. Signing up for this experience was a high-risk choice with a high reward of moving to a higher spiritual placement in the cosmos. In preparation for exiting the program, we reincarnated time and time again. However, we accumulated karma, and that sometimes did not get balanced due to the forgetfulness of our goals. In order to exit the matrix, we must become aware of our goals as a spirit having this physical experience, heal the energies tied to karma, and serve humanity and the planet in order to reach our goal of ascension. The purpose of awakening is to remember the goal of ascension out of the third dimensional reality into the higher consciousness. It says ascension is a shift in consciousness, a raising of all lower bodies, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, to full awareness and presence of the now. Ascension is the raising of consciousness to a new level of existence, a shift from third dimensional reality to that of the fifth dimension and beyond. Ascension is experienced when the four lower bodies are in perfect balance and therefore in perfect union with your higher self or soul. This occurs when all the so-called negative thoughts and emotions such as fear, hatred, and anger are transmuted and charged to that of love, kindness, and compassion. Ascension is not a place, but a state of being. Ascension is personal and planetary ascension. The Earth and all her inhabitants are in the process of transforming density into light, transforming our lower four bodies into unified love light field known as the light body. Planet Earth is in the process of being transformed into a new Garden of Eden where love, unity, and peace are the new norm. Ascension is not a process of dropping your physical vehicle and leaving the physical realm in search for a better reality, but the process of getting in here, being fully embodied and alive, joyfully living and sharing this joy with others, in turn assisting them to remembering who they are. The process of ascension involves awareness, intention, meditation, loving yourself, transmuting karma, healing or raising your awareness, transmuting fear, and serving others. These topics are covered in a free ebook. You can click right here, How to Ascend. Preparation for ascension takes works and dedication. Once awakened to the reality of the extreme polarity which was designed to help us awaken, the next step is to dedication to the task of completing the healing necessary to create the space inside of our heart where we can expand the light. The expansion of light causes the raising of vibration, which causes the shift to another reality or consciousness. The main preparation involved for ascension is personalized to each individual. However, there are some similar stages that are being shared in social media outlets such as Facebook groups. Here people can share personal experience such as ascension symptoms and articles, and access support groups amongst soul members, family members that agree to find each other through the great cosmic mind we call the internet. The Merkava. Ascension is not just a personal experience, it is also a human consciousness experience and a planetary experience. The triad of self, human consciousness, and planet creates a triangle. Triangles are geometric patterns that create stargates when activated. On a microcosm level, each prepared human will have two triangles which form a double helix that will spin to form the personal stargate for each individual consciousness to be able to travel through. This dual triangle geometry pattern is centered on the body within our heart space and connected out of the crown chakra to a person's oversoul. Thus, the human body is termed the Merkava vehicle for ascension. When Earth activates the Merkava, the resulting stargate will bring in the energy that will recalibrate Earth's energy field and will in turn affect the bodies of those on the planet that have prepared for this grand occasion. The ability to activate, let's see here, I want to jump to the end of the article because it's a long article here, but this is the Merkava we've talked about. We've done meditations to form it. You have the two triangles, the one with the point above the head and the one with the point below the feet. And you get these triangles moving in opposite directions and spinning and so on, and they create a vortex that is a vehicle that you are able to move around in. We come to the very end of the article here. It says exiting the matrix. Humanity has been a long road of third and fourth dimensional existence and is now astrologically aligned to receive the energies needed for Mother Earth to move into a new place in the universe which exists in the higher vibration. By triggering our own awakening and ascension vibration, we will assist the planet in triggering hers as well. When she goes within herself, she will exit through the eye of the black hole, which will relocate our consciousness into a new reality. The black hole is the void or the space between where creation occurs. Planet Earth has been stuck in reality just as long as humanity has. She will be successful in her ascension due to the number of light workers and star seeds on the planet who have held the light needed to fuel her birthing. The process is steady and calculated, and is guided by extra-dimensional beings who have taken over the stewardship of this planet, and humanity can once again be responsible caretakers. An individual's process of integrating light into the human body is facilitated by each person's guides and angels. Not all humans will be able to fly through the black hole with the planet. Those that have not realized that they are a spark of the Great Spirit, having a human experience in tandem with the planet, will leave their bodies to have the same type of reoccurring extreme polarity play on another planet that is preparing for ascension. Eventually, all roads lead to Rome, and all the souls that signed up for the ascension will arrive in Rome just in time for the cosmic party and ambassadorship induction ceremonies. All right, very good. There's a lot more to the article, so please check it out. The link's available, firstcontactradio.com, and the articles from in5d.com. And that brings us to our message for today, which is from the Arcturian group. Here we go. Let's check it out. Hear what they have to say.
The problem with Sacramento?
We have a commercial, so we're gonna wait for this commercial to go by, and here we go.
2014, channeled by Marilyn Raphael.
Greetings, dear ones. We come once again to guide you in whatever ways we can, but you must always remember that enlightenment is your mission, your journey, and your choice. There are still some who choose to do nothing while awaiting a savior in the form of a man, book, tool, event, or galactic. This reflects an old belief system: separation from source and the need for something outside of oneself to be saved. Your savior is within you, dear ones, always has been and always will be. It is what you already are. Your savior has been resting quietly within, awaiting recognition lifetime after lifetime through the good and not so good experiences of life lived in duality and separation. There comes a point in everyone's spiritual journey when they are finally evolved enough to recognize and embrace the truth about themselves. Issues of life that seemed important then begin to fade into the nothingness that they are, and the individual no longer feels the need to look outside of himself. He begins to seek within to his own divine essence for guidance and discovers that he is that which he has been seeking, the long-hidden secret, dear ones. Arcturian group wishes to speak of love as the essence of spiritual growth. Love is the realization of and the activities that flow from an attained awareness of one, in which everything and everyone exists. In the third-dimensional belief system of duality and separation, love, oneness, is always interpreted in a personal way depending upon the individual state of consciousness. The energetic connections of oneness between people thus are sometimes good and sometimes bad. Love is the universal oneness of all within an omnipresent divine consciousness, ever expressing itself in infinite form and variety. As the realization of oneness awakens within an individual, it begins to appear in the outer as peace, joy, understanding, and cooperation, those qualities that make life enjoyable, the activities of many within the one. As you observe a world of strife and war, know that what you are seeing is the manifestation of impersonal universal duality separation consciousness, which has no divine law to hold any of it in place. Illusion is how the world has been seen and interpreted. The earth, Gaia, not an illusion as many have thought, but is a living soul. Anything you can see, hear, taste, touch, or smell is a material interpretation of its spiritual reality. You may say, is war a spiritual reality? War is the outer manifestation of the consciousness of separation, which will change as more and more awaken into the realization of oneness. The spiritual light of an awakening world is bringing to surface and illuminate much that heretofore has been kept in the shadows. It may seem as though personally and globally things are worse, but everything that is old and finished is being exposed by your light, dear ones, in order that it may be cleared and released. You are changing world consciousness simply by living, moving, and having your being in the truth of who you really are. As individual and global consciousness of oneness, love, grows, it automatically transforms the appearances of discord into cooperation and peace, whether it be in family relationships or in the world. It is important to understand that your oneness with divine consciousness constitutes your oneness with completeness, your good. This may manifest outwardly as closure to those things you no longer resonate with, people, lifestyles, or activities. Anything that no longer resonates with your energy may cease to be a part of your life because it does not represent completeness for you. This is why we urge you not to try and hold on to anything that is finished, no matter how well it may have served you in the past. All are moving into new places of energy and enlightenment, which in turn will manifest outwardly in new forms. Be prepared for change, for evolution will always manifest as change. As you see and interact with all other life forms, you interact with yourself, for there is only one, and therefore that which you do to another, say to another, give to another, you do for yourself. See? This is the origin of karma and is how it works until an individual is able to move into a more evolved state of consciousness where he no longer needs the difficult and painful lessons of karma, but instead is able to be taught from within. This message of oneness has been given by masters throughout time, but has always been lost through the misinterpretation of unenlightened followers who would teach others their limited and less evolved concepts of the original message. This has been reflected in the many holy wars throughout history and even now. Whenever pure teachings are organized, the deeper truths are always lost through the actions of those who join and begin to present their own concepts of the original teachings. The belief that one needs someone, some organization, or some tool in order to spiritually grow is false and obsolete and will keep you locked into separation. Your church is within you, dear ones. Oneness, love, is the law, the reality, and the truth, but this realization may cause confusion for those comfortable within their established belief system. Truth can be accepted and lived or not, but truth itself changes not. There are many spiritually ready living in resistance, having to move forward the hard way by getting wake-up calls. Others are suddenly getting it, having prepared themselves in other lifetimes. There are also those who fully awakened in other lifetimes and are now choosing to be on Earth in order to assist an awakening world. It is a time of great change for all. Everyone, whether aware of it or not, is feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally the intense energy pouring onto Earth and bringing with it the release of all that is finished personally and globally. The new and higher energies of light are causing many to rethink their beliefs, and some with no understanding of what is taking place, are tempted to panic. You can help those tempted to fear and panic to open to the bigger picture, not that you become missionaries but that you simply throw out seeds of truth to those receptive. Never force the deeper truths onto another, thinking you are helping them, for they may not yet be ready, and your actions can easily become exercises of personal ego, the mistake many have made in the past and still make. As you observe the efforts of those who would keep the world in lack, chaos, and war, know that there is no law to support or sustain these appearances, and that all are in and of the one, even though unaware of it. How often do you pray for your enemies, dear ones, or do you pray only for victims? There is only one, and this realization is love and the secret of life you have sought for so long, lifetime after lifetime, symbolized as the search for the Holy Grail. You are now ready to grasp and live this divine secret, and in so doing will see the change you desire. Be the light, be the way, be the truth, a reality that not only refers to one man 2,000 years ago. This is how the world will awaken. We are the Arcturian group.
Alright, nice message. That brings us to our meditation for today. So go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And another deep breath. And exhale. And this time as you inhale, hold that breath, imagine all of your energies circling through you, letting all of the doubts and the fears that may be tucked away in there, exhale with your breath, and exhale them all out into the world, and just know that they will be transmuted into love. Now, as you breathe slowly, contemplate the words of the affirmation, I am exactly where I want to be in life. I am exactly where I want to be in life. And as you contemplate those words, the pressure of trying to be someplace other than where you are is released, because you realize you are exactly where you are supposed to be. And as we contemplate life on a daily basis, we do find that we are where we are supposed to be, learning the lessons we need to learn. So we begin to understand and have acceptance for our place in life. And as we accept, we begin to understand more of why we are where we are, doing what we are doing. So see yourself at complete peace with what it is you're doing in life, knowing that you are doing exactly what you are supposed to be doing at this point in time. And as you learn the lesson, you move forward to what is next. Let's contemplate the words of Buddha, who taught us the lessons of loving life and using our mind to be able to transcend the reality that is shown to us, to understand the reality that we are all a part of. And let us know that this consciousness, this Buddha consciousness, this Christ consciousness is available for all. At any given point in time, all we need to do is be open to accepting this wisdom. So let's imagine ourselves just like the Buddha, sitting underneath a tree with our eyes closed, contemplating the wonders of the universe. And let's just imagine our minds being filled with this wisdom. And as we go forth this day, let's just imagine this wisdom continuing to fill our minds and then overflow our beings out into the world, that we share this silently with others. And let's just think of love for the planet Earth. Send love to all of our friends and our family members, and of course to all of our enemies. And pray that they rise above the darkness within them, that they may shine bright the light. Let's just imagine a world of light and love, a planet of love and goodness. Let's just hold that thought in our mind's eye, and let's bring our present mind back to the moment. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is our show for today. Enjoy Wesak. Look up a little bit more about the Buddha. Understand more what this day is all about, and just the ideas and celebration. It's all about the mind. All of these days are about celebrating the mind and learning more about who we are, where we are, and why we are. Have an awesome day. I'll be back tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.